The broad heading that you can put for your notes today is las mascotas, right? Pets. We have a list of pets here. Let's see which ones do we know. What's the first one? El perro. Right, good. Dog, right? El gato. What is el gato? Cat. Good. What is el conejo? Right. Conejo is rabbit. Okay. El hamster. Remember, I can't unmute you, right? So you'll have to put your answer in the chat. Well, the hamster is obviously the hamster. Right? Look at that little fellow with those fat cheeks. Look at them. Anybody has a pet hamster? Did I ask in this class already about people who own pet hamsters? All right. La tortuga. The turtle. Right? El pez. Not to be confused with the fish that you eat, which is el pescado. Right? Right. But the thing swimming around in the bowl is el pez. Right? El pájaro. The bird. Right? La cobaya. Guinea pig. And sometimes you might see or hear la cobaya de las Indias. Right? Okay. La serpiente, the snake, serpent. And el loro, the parrot. Although every time I do this, people tell me, Miss, that's a macaw. So I apologize. Right? And this one is good. Okay. Any others for some reason you need me to tell you the English? This is rabbit. This one is guinea pig. This is turtle. All right. Now, before we know it, and the Tims will be on us, right? So please think about if you need to revise anything before you're in the Tims, okay? All right, so I'm giving us a minute for people who are writing down names. Let's the next thing I want to ask you to write is this question. ¿Cuál es tu mascota favorita y por qué? So which is your favorite pet and why? Right now in English, we would say what. When not what means like you have to choose from a number of the items. So you have to choose from a number of pets. It would translate it in Spanish as which. So which is your favorite pet? Right? And why? All right, so know the question and then we're going to answer the question. All right, so let's clear this away. And you can tell if you really can't think of how to say it in Spanish as yet, you could say it in English, right? So where's my slide here? All right, now I just have 3 pets here, right? And you could, of course, say something else. I'm sure some of you are going to tell me snake. What is your favorite animal and why? All right, so the dog, because it can help you with strangers, you can scare them off. All right, so how do I say I like the dog? Anybody feels like they could try to use Gustar and say I like dogs? Sharks. We're talking about pets. Although it is possible for people to have sharks as a pet, is that really what we mean? All right, so let's go with dogs first, right? Giraffes. We're talking about pets. You definitely cannot say giraffes. Okay. Los perros. Me gustan los perros, right? Me gustan. So I like dogs. Dogs are pleasing to me, right? Porque. All right. Why do we like them? They're cute. But that's some other reasons. Come, guys. All right. What is the word we know for cute? Porque son. Look, let's do a whole little bullet point list here, right? So first bullet point, why we like dogs. Son lindos, right? They're cute. So lindo, linda for cute. What else? They're playful. So we are using ser for all of these, right? Okay, so we could say juegan mucho, they play a lot, right? Our dogs also entertaining. All right, protective. Son protectores. All right. Can we do you what about ferocious? Meaning like kind of scary. Son feroces, right? So feroz for the singular, but I have all the dogs in the world, perros. So it's I change the Z to C and add ES, right? So feroz is the singular. Okay. So they are cute. They are playful, they play a lot. They are protective and they are ferocious. So some people are like that their pets are kind of scary. Someone wanted to say my dog can scare away strangers. Let me put that down here. Let me write it on the bottom because I'm out of space in the little window, right? Los perros pueden. Oh, well, we could just, let's simplify it. We know the verb asustar, just to scare or to shock, right? So asustan a los extraños. They can scare away strangers, right? So extraño is the stranger. And then asustar, to scare or startle. Right? So dogs scare away strangers. All right. Any other reason anybody likes a dog that we didn't say in Spanish? All right, so you can write down whichever ones of these you think you will want to remember to say. You don't have to say all. For instance, you may not care to say that you like dogs because they're ferocious. You may not care to say that you like dogs because they scare away strangers. Choose a couple that you want and make a note of them, right? A cold shoulder. They ignore us. They mistreat us. They give us attitude. All right, well, we can say they're entertaining. How do we say they're entertaining? So, me gustan los gatos porque son, well, let me put the son with the first point. Right, bullet points again. My bullet points going by. Right. Son divertidos. Do cats like to cuddle? All right, so we will use abrazar for to cuddle, right? You know, abrazo is a hug, right? All right, so we have a start of a sentence there. Me gustan los gatos porque a los gatos, so to the cats, les gustan, no, le gusta abrazar, right? And if you want to say with me, you would add in me, abrazar me. So this is cats like to cuddle. And, you know, of course, you could put in any other pets that you have that you think is cuddly. All right, so abrazar truly should relate to abrazar for to cuddle because we like to use the verb to hug up. Give so-and-so a hug up. Right, hug me up now. Right, so abrazar to cuddle and to cuddle with me. So if you want to say your pet is cuddling with me, abrazar me. So it's like you make it reflexive. Okay, any other reasons for cats? I think you could say cats are very intelligent. And then you could say son muy inteligentes. And then we get to the conejos. What's so great about rabbits? What do we like about rabbits? Right, so a minute here again, well, half a minute, right? All right, they like attention. So you could say le gusta atención, right? My attention, mi atención, right? Accent on the O. Again, just take down what appeals to you. You have to take down all. Half a minute and then tell me what's so great about rabbit. Me gustan los conejos. We say because they're small. That's a positive for some people for a pet. It'd be a positive for me. I would rather have a small pet than a large pet. Oops. Oh, sorry. Oops. Oh, wrong. All right. Okay, great. Right. So son pequeños is the first one. Remember your tilde on the end. Anything else for a rabbit? Are they nice? Do they have personalities? Or are they all just very calm? Okay, so you could say that. You could say son tranquilas, right? Again, for any pets, if that is a sorry, if that is a quality, you could say that, right? Summer wild. Okay, all right. Well, you could describe your individual rabbit as feroz, like the dog. Some small animals are like that, and they don't know they're small. All right, so they're quiet. Somebody said fluffy just now. Esponjosos. So esponjoso for fluffy, right? And we will leave it there, right? So small, quiet, fluffy. All right. All right, let me just draw your attention to up here. We have ¿cuál de las mascotas prefieres? ¿Cuál es tu favorita? Right? So which pet do you prefer? And which is your favorite? Another question you could get in relation to pets is what animal do you have? Do you have a pet? So tienes mascota, but you could also get tienes animal in casa. Do you have an animal in the house? Now, is there any pet anybody has that we didn't say the name of and you want us to say it? So this one is, do you have an animal at home? Parrot is loro, right? El loro. The last one was on the in the group. That looked like a macaw, but it's not really a macaw. Well, I mean, it is a macaw, but it's meant to show parrot. Ah, pet rats, a raton. Okay, so down here, let me put it in a different color so we can see it. El pez, P-E-Z, is the fish. I guess los peces for fish, plural. Right, un ratón for a rat. Do we have a goat as a pet? All right. Un cabro or una cabra, right? A goat. Who has a goose as a pet? I'm going to call your parents and ask them if you really have these pets, eh? Okay, goose is ganso. I'm not really gonna call them to ask that. Ah, ducks. Yes, what are ducks? El pato or la pata, right? A pato for duck. All right, so chickens, I'm running out of space. Chicken is pollo if you're eating it, but chicken's a pet. Gallina for a hen, and gallo for a rooster. Right? All right, I want to finish up this section within the next 2 or so minutes, right? All right, is the lizard a lizard or is it like an iguana? Iguana is iguana, iguana, right? And lizard is lagarto. All right, so L-A-G-A-R-T-O for lizard. Lagarto con barba for bearded lizard. Oh, actually, lagarto barbudo is what the dictionary says. All right. I'm gonna write it over here. Lagarto barbudo. And again, guys, take down the ones that appeal to you that you will use. If you know you're never going to say you have a lizard as a pet, then you probably don't need to do it, right? All right. One more minute, and then I would like us to move on to another activity, right? All right, now let's say you are asked to describe your pet. There are some basic ways you could do it. You could just say the color of the pet. You could say if they're big, if they're small. But if you have a pet, you know that pets, like people, come with personalities, right? So, let's talk about some of their characteristics. And if you could think of any character traits, personality traits of your pets, you could tell me as well, right? Perhaps the most basic one is nice or cute. Just now I gave you lindo for cute, but you could also say simpático right? Or simpatica, right? If the pet is a girl. Okay, playful. I told you to say that it plays a lot, juega and mucho, but to say playful, juguetón. Okay, so playful, juguetón. Or juguetona, right? If it's a girl. Clingy and follow you around everywhere. What is that? Maybe spoiled? Would you call them spoiled? Okay, so spoiled. Oh, I miss kittens. Mimado, mimada. And if it's plural, mimados. Mimados, right? All right. A pleasant one would be playful. Not playful, sorry. We already did playful. Friendly, right? So some pets are friendly, right? So amistoso, amistosa. And of course, these words, some of them could apply to people as well. We know some personas mimadas, I bet. All right, what else? Some pets are just mean, so they could be unpleasant, a little bit mean, right? Antipatica or antipatico / antipatica, right? Let me see. Along those lines, they could be naughty, mischievous. So if they like to pull down things, push down things, if they make noise, if they tear up things, travieso. And of course, this word works for humans too, right? A pet could be, just now we talked about pets being protective. So a pet could be dangerous. Oh, sorry, I was putting the English first. All right, dangerous is the same word, peligroso, peligrosa. I gave you ferocious earlier, but here it is again. Ferocious. All right, feroz. And then lazy. Some animals are lazy. Perezoso. Wait, did I give you this already? No. Perezoso, perezosa. And of course, this works for people as well. All right, so we would say, what kind of pet we have? So, mi mascota, what is that? To be hungry. Tener hambre, right? So, mi mascota tiene mucho hambre. Well, that's a conversation killer if you don't have a pet. Pretend for the class. All right, so mi mascota tiene mucho hambre todo el tiempo. Right? My pet is always hungry. And you could say, come mucho. Come demasiado. My pet eats a lot. My pet eats too much. We know the word demasiado for too much. All right. Now that we familiarize ourselves with some pet vocabulary, we have a little comprehension here to do. Very small, very small. So what I suggest is because it's 5:21, we'll need to take a break soon, but what we could do is just read it through once and then we could take a break, right? It's not long, it's not hard. I hope, right? I hope we don't find it long and we don't find it hard. Okay. Where we meet a word that you don't know, remember, so we could ask, right? So in muchos hogares españoles, so I would expect to come back to this word, right? Hogar. Las mascotas son una parte fundamental de la familia. Animales como los perros o los gatos conviven con niños y adultos. All right, so we'll come back to this one. Con los que comparten todas sus vivencias. All right, con los que comparten todas sus vivencias. All right. Asimismo, otros animales domésticos como los peces, los pájaros o los conejos de Indias se cuelan en muchas casas para hacer las delicias de sus dueños y en menor número incluso las serpientes. All right, so we'll come back to this one. We'll come back to this one. This would, this is a nice phrase. This is a nice term too, right? All right. Existen una serie de mascotas que son las más comunes a lo largo de todo el mundo. All right. So existen una serie de mascotas que son las más comunes a lo largo de todo el mundo. El perro es, sin duda, el rey de los animales domésticos. La protección y la compañía que ofrecen a sus dueños. Did we already, yeah, we highlighted dueños already. Hacen que los perros se conviertan en un miembro más de la familia. Los perros son amigos incondicionales de sus amos y por eso muchas personas no pueden vivir sin ellos. All right. Tell me what you think the gist of the passage is. It just has a couple main ideas with examples, with a lot of examples. So what are the two sort of main ideas? Two or three sort of main ideas. What did you gather from it? No thoughts? All right, so take a break. On the right hand side here, I'm gonna put a little vocabulary box, right? Of the words that I highlighted. Are there any other words that before you go look at it again? Are there any other words that are not highlighted? That you feel you need to ask the meaning of? Okay, so el hogar is the first one, and that is the home, right? Then we have convivir. We have compartir. Any words that are not highlighted, any phrases that are not highlighted that you want to ask the meanings of? All right, no problem. I'm gonna write out the ones that I have highlighted. You all can take 5 minutes. And when you come back, you can look again at the passage with the vocabulary and see what you make of it, right? All right, so it's 5:28 now, so 5 minutes, right? So about 5:33. Right, so vocabulary for the first paragraph, el hogar, H is silent, right? So the home, you're used to la casa, in casa, mi casa, su casa, right? But el hogar is a new word, or perhaps not. And so in the passages, plural, hogares, es to make it plural, right? Convivir, to live with, which I mean, it looks like to live with, because you know, vivir, to live, and then con literally means with. So we could remember it that way, with, to live with, right? Compartir, to share. Like in English, we have the word compartmentalize, where we break up things into compartments or pieces, or we share them up, kind of, right? So compartir, to share. Vivencia, una vivencia, la vivencia, the experience, right? So up here we had conviven from convivir, compartir from compartir. So they share, convivir, they live with, right? Sus vivencias, their experiences, right? Asimismo, what a lovely word. Asimismo, likewise, right? I didn't give you a sequela. All right, but the next one is hacer las delicias. Just a second, sorry. Right. Hacer las delicias to delight. So up here we have para hacer las delicias de sus dueños. De sus dueños. So to delight sus dueños. El dueño is the owner. In menor número, to a less extent, in smaller numbers. Probably in smaller numbers is a better, let me change this to in smaller numbers. But if you have to a lesser extent, no problem. It's just you can count serpents. So in smaller numbers, because we could count something with numbers, right? Incluso, including, right? Up here we had sequelan from colarse. How am I gonna fit this in? COLAR, and it could be reflexive, and it means to sneak. Right? So something up here is sneaking. They sneak. And is the EOS EAS ustedes. So they sneak, right? All right. So let's look back at the first paragraph. I want you to take a few moments, finish taking down the vocabulary because you already started. Put the vocabulary back into the passage, right? And try and make sense of that first paragraph. I want you to try it on your own before we do it together. Oh, and just a reminder, if anyone is in the Thursday class tomorrow, I know I said at the beginning, tomorrow's Thursday class only is going to move up. Admats as well. Admats will be at 9, and then Spanish will be at 11:30, right? All right, so let's go back to the paragraph now. En muchos hogares españoles. So this is our first phrase. Let's make sense of that. Where are we talking? What are we talking about? We're talking about homes. Homes where? All over the world? In which country? In which region? Españoles tells you. Guys. Spain. Right, good. Spanish homes. So in many Spanish homes, right? Las mascotas, which we know means pets, son una parte fundamental de la familia. So what is it they're telling us about pets? They are what? All of these words are close to their English equivalents. Una is a, parte is. Parte looks like what English word? It looks like party because it had E. All right. Okay. I want you to think of it as part. Right? So it does look like parte, but it sounds like parte as well, right? But because of the E. But part. And what is fundamental? What English word is that the equivalent of? Fundamental. Great. And what does fundamental mean in English? It just means basic. You can't do without it. Integral. Right? So they're a fundamental part of the who? Of the what? Of the family. Great. So pets are a fundamental part of the family. And this is something that non-pet owners will never understand. Only pet owners understand how pets can become part of the family, right? Fair to say some people are not animal people and we just don't get it. As much as I love having cats around, I don't understand. All right, next piece. Animales como los perros o los gatos. So what does this piece mean? See, we're breaking it up in little units. The comments are helping us. So this is obviously animals like, and perros, again, you all know is dogs. Put a smile on his face because dogs always smiling. Or los gatos. With a squiggly face because cats are never happy fully, right? And that's his tail, right? Good. Conviven con niños y adultos. All right, so they what? Conviven comes from convivir, to live with. So they live with, they cohabit with children and adults. Con los que, so con again is with, right? So we must know this word. I took it for granted that we knew the word con, right? If we don't know the word con, we have to learn it today, or the world will end. As my Spanish teacher used to tell us, sometimes the Spanish gods will come and get you. They'll jump out from under your bed and get you. So con means with, right? All right. Con los que comparten todas sus vivencias, right? All right. So comparten comes from compartir, to share. So dogs and the cats, so animals like dogs and cats, sorry, live with children and adults with whom or with which, right? But with whom in English we say with whom. They share todas sus vivencias. What is todas again? Okay, I don't, yeah, what is todas? Todas is all, right? So all there. So, okay, so todas is like con. You have to know this word. Todo, toda, todos, todas, right? All. It just agrees with whatever it's describing. So all their experiences. Así mismo we said is likewise. So likewise, other animals, other domesticated animals, other domestic animals, right? Como los peces was peces. I gave you pez earlier on the slide, right? So peces is plural for the fish. Would be la pez if you knew the fish was feminine, right? All right. Los pájaros, those birds, o los conejos de Indias. Guinea pigs, right? Se cuelan en muchas casas para hacer las delicias de sus dueños. All right. So they sneak in many homes or many cases, they sneak in to delight their owners, right? In menor número, so in to what did we say, in smaller numbers, right? This may look like a strange way to translate it. Translation cannot happen one for one, right? We translate the idea. So how something is expressed in Spanish is not necessarily how something is expressed in English. So we have to say numbers plural because that's the expression, but in Spanish, the expression is in menor número singular, right? So in smaller numbers, we just take the gist of it. Don't worry if you can't translate it exactly, because maybe it's not supposed to be translated exactly. Incluso, inclusive of snakes. Great. All right. A lot of writing on the screen, but we understand what the first paragraph means. Okay, let's look at the questions. I think it's just one or two questions on this first paragraph. All right. What animals are mentioned in the text? All of the different ones happen in the first paragraph. Now, someone who was answering my questions has already, okay, so Khadija, I'm going to share your answers with the class. She's already listed out most of them. Look in the chat, check and see if there's any we didn't list out. So she said fish, birds, guinea pigs, snakes. Any that we didn't list, or the two most obvious one, cats and dog. Parrots. Did we say parrots? Pájaros is used for birds and loro for parrots. So I wouldn't say parrots, but cats and dogs. Right. Okay. So that's the first question taken care of. So you can add to the list. So the answer is in the chat. Right. Cats, dogs, and then also fish, birds, guinea pigs, snakes. Okay. All right. Which is the least popular pet in Spain? We have to use our reasoning abilities here because it doesn't just say the least popular pet is, but it sort of hints at it. Yes, Khadija, rise again. Guys, come on. What's the least popular pet? Where do they actually talk about something in smaller or to a lesser extent or in smaller numbers? What pet is that? You can answer in English, huh? This is I didn't specify that, sorry. But the questions are in English, you can answer in English. This piece here where they say, I mean, to be fair, the question isn't 100% clear. This came from BBC, so I'll be writing them a letter. No, I'm kidding. But I'm trying to shift the blame a little bit here, right? All right, so en menor número, incluso las serpientes. So, right. The serpent. Okay. Let's look at the next paragraph. So I'm going to clear away the writing from the top. I want to clear away all the writing. Everybody has what they need. Okay, I'm waiting. Take a screenshot. All right, let's speed this up. So, existen unas series, right, de mascotas que son las más comunes a lo largo de todo el mundo. All right, so común is common, right? But when you add the es to it, you drop the accent. Sorry, only one M in Spanish, never double M and never double F. Comunes, right? This is also common to agree with the noun. All right. A lo largo de, throughout, in this case, throughout the world. El perro es sin duda. What is el rey? The king, right? De los animales domésticos. So, by the way, existen is from existir to exist, right? So it's like saying there is or there are. So another way of saying there is a series of pets, right? All right. The protection and the company that they offer to their owners hacen que los perros se conviertan en un, so they convert into, convertir, right? It has an an ending here instead of an en because it is in the subjunctive, right? So to convert, change is in the subjunctive following this expression, okay, right? But all we care about is they become. They convert into, which is the same as saying they become, right? A member, another member, un miembro más, one more member of the family. Los perros son amigos incondicionales. What does this mean? It looks like an English word, unconditional, right? De sus amos. Por eso, so, therefore, right? Muchas personas no pueden vivir sin ellos. Many people cannot live without them. All right, so tell me the answer to this question. According to the text, what benefits do dogs bring to their owners? Amos, sorry, I forgot to give you this one, right? Los Amos is their masters. It's like dueño, owner, right? But this is for a pet. Right, protection, good. Company, good. Unconditional love, good. All right, so protection, unconditional love, and company, right? All right, last question. Find in the text the following phrases. And the reason we're finding them is because they are idiomatic expressions that don't have, well, I'm not sure why they have us finding them, but let's try it. All right, so they share all their experiences. What line, what paragraph, and what line is that in? All right, let's see. Right, comparten todas sus vivencias, right? Good. Okay, what about the next one? They slip into many houses. That is this one, right? Se cuelan en muchas casas. Well, I gave you this as sneak, but I guess it could also translate as slip. All right, delight their owners. Okay, see if you can find delight their owners. Right, delight their owners. Remember this expression? Right, hacer las delicias para hacer las delicias de sus dueños. Good. Right, so I would say, right, so this is delight their owners, right? And this piece down here too. Okay, and then the last one, they become another member of the family. All right, so we had, we're looking for miembro de la familia here, right? Conviertan en un miembro más de la familia, right? All right, guys, so let's just sum up what we did for this afternoon. We worked on pets. We went through a list of the most popular pets and some of the less popular pets. We spent some time talking about how we would describe our pets' personalities. We spent some time talking about why we like, what are the qualities of the pet that we like, why we like the pets. And then we did a comprehension on pets in houses, in homes in Spain, right? All right, so I'm going to leave the screen up for any vocabulary you need to take down. But once you are done, you all are free to log off, right? If you have any questions, you could remain here to ask them.